Hello everyone, welcome to STR IAS. So in this lecture series, I'll be covering environment part for UPSC prelims 2025. So let us start the lecture. So in this lecture, I'll be dealing with basics of ecology. So firstly, we'll start with the word itself. What do you mean by environment? So environment is nothing but something which is surrounding us. Okay, environment is nothing but surroundings which are affecting us or influencing us, and also there may be some components in our surroundings. So total surroundings with its effect, influence and components that may be of living or non-living is called environment. So living things are called biotic. Bio means life. Non-living things are called abiotic. Okay, so we'll look at this in more detail. Let us go further. So second keyword is ecology. So anything which says about logy means study of echo. The word echo is derived from the Latin word oikos, which means house of living things. So ecology is nothing but study of living things and their interaction. Study of living things and their interaction with their environment. Okay, for example, I'm a living thing. How I interact with my environment. So my environment, I have a laptop now, so I'm interacting with that. So study of how I'll be interacting and how many hours I'll be interacting and what will be the impact on me, and due to this how much power I'm consuming. This power is made up of thermal or solar, these things and all will be looking in ecology. So ecology is based upon four principles. First one is holism, second one is succession, third one is ecosystem, and fourth one is conservation. We'll be looking at these things in more detail in further lectures. So as of now, holism is nothing but we know that in every ecosystem we'll be having individual. So group of individuals is called species. Group of individuals who have capacity to reproduce are called species. So then what happens is group of this species is called population, and group of different types of species is called community. Then we have ecosystem where living things and non-living things will be interacting with each other. Then ecosystem with some type of climatic conditions is called biome, and all these things will be there in biosphere where life is possible. So here holism states that if in individual level there is some change, it will affect the whole system. Okay, if in individual level or species level or population level, if there is small change, it will affect the whole system. These things will be looking at food web, food chain and all, and these things will be discussing in more detail in further lectures. Then succession. For example, there is no human being. I mean, like, there is nothing on the earth. There is a bare rock. On the bare rock, some organisms like mosses, lichens, they have developed. They'll be developing a soil. Then we'll get plants. Then we'll get animals. So how this complexity and diversity has emerged? We have got soil, we have got plants, we got animals, we got fungus, bacteria. So how this complexity and diversity achieved over time in ecosystem is called succession. Ecosystem. So ecosystem is the structural and functional unit of nature, and these things also will be looking in very detail. Conservation is nothing but protection. Fine. So environment, I already said that everything surrounding us, which may be of biotic factors and abiotic factors. Biotic factors are the factors which are having life in them. Abiotic factors are which do not have life in them. So examples of biotic factors. So these things you have to remember. Fungi is a biotic, plant, animals, protista, archaea, bacteria are biotic. Abiotic. So abiotic will be divided into two types. We'll be looking at soil, light, temperature, air, humidity, soil, light, water, air, humidity, temperature. So next thing is ecology. I have said that study of interaction between living organisms and their biotic and abiotic environment. For example, me interacting with my brother, mother, father, and also me interacting with my laptop, books, water to bath, okay, temperature, everything is called ecology. So in simple words, to define ecology, we can say that ecology is the study of relationship of plants and animals with their physical and biological environment. Then, so we are speaking about ecology. So levels of organization, I told that from individual. So individual is nothing but a organism or being which can function independently, function or act independently. So it may be a plant, animal, bacteria, fungi, etc. So individual. Next stage will be, next organization will be species. This species should have a capability to reproduce. They have to give a fertile offspring. Then only they are called species. Okay. For example, so human species, orangutan species, right? Then population. So group of the same organisms or same species is called populations. Group of same species living in a defined area over a specific time is called population. Then what do you mean by community? Community consists of different species. Okay. So for example, species of fish, species of plant, plankton, species of different types of lichens, species of coral reefs. Then it is called oceanic community in the ocean ecosystem. Then we have ecosystem. So ecosystem, I already said that how the living things interact with both living and non-living things. Then we have biome. Biome, just remember the word climate. For example, camels living in desert. So for camel, desert is a biome. Okay. Then we have biosphere where all biomes on the earth is called biosphere. So wherever the life exists on the earth, that place is called biosphere. So to remember this, we can remember with the help of orchestra. So just remember, uh, like just take an example. There is a guitarist. I've written violins there, but there is a guitarist. It is called individual. He can act independently. He can play guitar, right? So without any instruments there, also he can act independently. So it is called individual. Then species. So group or troop of guitarists. Guitarist troop is called species. Then we have population, right? So population, group of musicians. For example, group of musicians, guitarist, one is violinist, pianist, flutist, drummer. This group of people who can play music is called population. Then we have community. Okay, I think this is the community. Okay, this is the community. So guitarists who can play music is called species. Then this group of guitarists, violinists, pianists, flutists, these people are called community. And this community interacting with mic system, sound system, amplifier, then reaction to audiences, asking audience for which song they need. This thing is called ecosystem, music ecosystem. So until this we can define the thing, but beyond this biome, biosphere, we cannot define. They are done because they have to show the differences from place to place. So biomes, they have to show the climatic differences from place to place. That's why they have created biomes. So that also will be seen. And also ecosystem also, everywhere people will be interacting with different types of peoples and their environment. Organisms will be interacting with different types of organisms and also physical environment. Then everything will be ecosystem, right? So ecosystem will be like divided into tundra ecosystem, then desert ecosystem, forest ecosystem. This ecosystem we can write like environment also, right? Environment consists of both living and non-living things which is surrounding us and which are influencing us. Yes. So they have made a classification to make the things easier for their what research. Okay. So then components of ecosystem we have seen abiotic, biotic. I told that abiotic components will be divided into climatic and edaphic is nothing but geographic factors. Okay. Climatic factors, light, rain, wind, temperature. Then edaphic factors are soil, pH levels, minerals, topography. Then in biotic components, we have something called producers. These producers are also called as autotrophs. Autotroph. Trophic is nothing but energy level. Those who can get energy by their own are called producers. So these producers will convert sunlight into glucose plus oxygen. We know which process is this? Photosynthesis. There are some bacteria which do not use sunlight, but they will be using chemicals and will be making glucose and oxygen. These also come under producers. Okay. So primary producers are plants and plankton. Okay. Then we have someone to eat these producers, right? So those things are called consumers. They are heterotrophs. It means that they cannot make their food on their own. They'll be dependent upon plants or producers. So these heterotrophs may be primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. For example, grass is eaten by goat. This goat is eaten by fox. This fox is eaten by lion. Okay, so like that, just like that. Fine. Then we have something called decomposers. Everything will be dying. For example, primary producers also will die. Primary consumers also will die. Secondary consumers also will die. Tertiary consumers also will die. Quaternary consumers, consume, uh, quaternary consumers also will die. So at this time, they have to be decomposed. They will be decomposed by some of the organisms. Fine. So then ecosystems are classified into natural ecosystem, man-made ecosystem. For example, the room made in which I'm teaching you people is my ecosystem. I'm interacting with the laptop. Yes. So man-made ecosystem, dams, garden, aquarium, cropland for rice cultivation. So farmlands or man-made ecosystem. So natural ecosystems, there are two types, one on land, another one on water. On land it is called terrestrial, on water it is called aquatic. Terrestrial ecosystem, we have forests, we have grasslands, we have deserts. Okay. Then aquatic, fresh water we have, then we have running water. Okay. Then marine, nothing but salt water, fresh water, salt water. Then mangroves, it's between, like it's near estuaries or deltas. Okay, and wetlands. This type of ecosystem are there. So what are the functional units of ecosystem? What are the functional units of ecosystem? So when it comes to functions, sorry, not functional units, functions. Functions of ecosystem, the first function will be productivity. I said that producers or autotrophs will be getting over their own energy. Trophy is nothing but energy from sunlight. So from sunlight, think that there is 100% of energy. These plants will be utilizing up to 1% of energy to make biomass production. Okay, biomass is nothing but a dry weight. Okay, for example, in our body, if you remove what blood and water, the remaining mass is called biomass. Okay, it is nothing but dry organic weight. This biomass production is one of the functions of ecosystem. Fine. Then next is energy flow. After this 1% of biomass is produced, from this it will be eaten by consumers. So here energy is flowing from sun to primary producers, then to consumers. Then after that, these consumers and producers will die, and this both, which is having biomass, will be eaten by something called decomposers or saprophages. Okay. Then after this, those nutrients will be again going into soil. Then it will be making a cycle. So we'll be looking at different nutrient cycles like sulfur cycle, water cycle, oxygen cycle, methane cycle, these things in upcoming lectures. Okay. Then biome, I told that a geographical region characterized by a particular set of climatic conditions. So whenever biome in question paper, just remember climatic conditions in a particular geographical region. For example, Rajasthan will be having a desert. So desert as a biome because it will be having like 45 degrees Celsius above temperature in the day, and in there will be having desert ecosystem, will be having different types of plants which will be having thrones to them to protect to protect themselves from the different types of animals and people being cutting them. Okay, and also they will be storing more amount of water whenever it is available to them, and their leaves will be very, they won't be leaves because they don't want to lose water. Okay, transpiration should not happen. Fine. Each biome has unique characteristics. So I told that in desert plants will be won't be having any leaves, and they don't want to animals or uh, humans to eat them. So they will be developing thorns on their body. Okay, so they help determine kinds of plants and animals that can survive. Only these plants can survive. Why? Because if there are no thorns, animals will come and eat them for the water. Okay, so biome will be determining what type of plants and animals can live there. So this diagram from GC Leong. So if you have studied geography, you might have gone through this, and we know that there are this thing. For example, from 0 degrees to 10 degrees Celsius, 10 degree north. Sorry, 10 degree north latitude will be having tropical evergreen forest, and in the east from 10 degrees to 35 degrees north will be having monsoon type of climate. Then we'll be having Sudan type of climate. Then on the west part of this will be having desert, and from 35 to 45 we'll be having Mediterranean type, then steppe type, then China type of climate. Then this classification will be reading in geography. So from this only we have made different types of biomes. For example, forest biomes, grassland biomes, tundra biomes, desert biomes, aquatic biomes. Then next thing is biosphere. Bio means life, sphere, the place where life is possible. Okay, so it is where lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere converge. So this is lithosphere, this is hydrosphere, this is atmosphere. So this part is called biosphere, the place on earth where life exists. So it is approximately 20 kilometers thick. So it is like from in oceans below 500 meters it will be starting, and in normal from above sea level it will be 6 kilometers. Okay, generally it will be 20 kilometers thick. The life is possible on the earth. So most of the life in oceans occur below 500 meters. From below 500 meters to above 6 kilometers, then it is possible to have 20 kilometers, because you can see that tropopause near equator will be far and near poles will be nearer. Okay, then habitat. To understand habitat, habitat is nothing but address of a living organism. So place where living organism or community of organism lives, including all non-living and living factors. For example, your home. So just concentrate. You will be confusing with the next word called niche. Okay, your home is called habitat. So in your home, your mother, your father, you, brother, sister, all will be living and you will be interacting. Okay, you'll be eating food together, you'll be playing, you will singing, these things, right? So this is called habitat. So microhabitat is the term for the conditions and organisms in the immediate vicinity of a plant or animal. For example, in your home, if you are keeping a small home for birds, it is called microhabitat. So don't get confused with niche here. Okay, so near the plant, a small plant is growing. This is called microhabitat, right? So difference between habitat, all things will be alive, right? So we'll be speaking about all the alive things, and in environment may or may not be there. Life may or may not be there. So all habitats are environment, but all environments are not habitat. Okay, then so ecology, we said that study of interactions between organism and surroundings. Environment is nothing but your surroundings. It may or may not have life. Ecosystem, it is a structural and functional unit of the nature of the environment. All ecosystems are environment, but all environments are not ecosystems. Habitat is the part of ecosystem. Okay. So in your home, that is habitat. Okay. And your village is an ecosystem. Village is an ecosystem. Habitat is home. And in your home, you'll be having role and function. So for me, in my home, my function is to study. So I have a study room. This role, function and conditions needed. For example, my study room will be having enough sunlight, it will be having ventilation, it will be having fan, and it will be having conditions where I can study. So this role plus function, my role is to study and my function is to sit and study. Yes, right. Then the conditions required. The whole things, my role is to study and the function is there should be a separate room for me to study, and the conditions required are ventilation, fan and all. These things called niche. Okay, the whole village is an ecosystem where I'll be living and interacting with multiple organisms, right? Then my home is a habitat for me. Then in my home there is a study room for which it has a specific role, function and conditions required, it is called niche. So, unique role or position of a species within the ecosystem, including physical and biological conditions it requires to survive and reproduce. Right. So, if you want to remember more, just remember bedroom is a niche. Okay. So, just remember, for remembering, I'm doing this. So, it will be having unique role, and here you can survive and you can reproduce. Fine. Then, so for every organism, they will be having a physical space and functional space. Okay. Physical space to live, we live in home. To reproduce, we do it in a bedroom. Okay. This home is habitat, and the specific function of reproduction and survival, bedroom, it is called niche. Then factors controlling niche. One is our own ability, and it is also dependent upon other species. Okay. So what happens if there is an issue overlap, and what happens if me and my brother fighting for a same study room? So there is only one study room in my home. Okay, there is only one room. If my brother and me are fighting for a single study room to study, which is niche, then what happens? There is something called competition. So in competition, one will win and one will lose. Yes. So one will win and one will lose. So I'll be telling that I'm studying since 1 year. So it is my room and I cannot share. My brother will lose and he will be joining the study hall or library in the village. If if not, there is one more option called I can break down this room into two cabins. Right? So I can break down this room into two cabins, and this is called resource partitioning. Okay, so one thing is to send him out, another thing is I can break down the room into two parts, and I can study here and he can study there accordingly. Okay, and this competition, one win and one lose, is written by Charles Darwin when he was speaking about evolution of. So he only gave evolution theory, right? So there is one story and no need of that story, and he have given something called survival of fittest. I have argued that I have been studying here for 1 year and you cannot enter my room. I am the survival of the fittest. Fine. Then we have different types of niches: fundamental niche, realized niche, habitat niche, trophic niche, multidimensional niche. So fundamental niche is nothing but where organism could exist without any with could exist with ecological interactions. So I can exist in my study room. It's my fundamental niche. Okay. So realized niche is nothing but population exists here in the presence of interactions and competitions. For example, if I have more cousins, so there will be more population in the study room, and this is called realized niche. So there is one dialogue that like this this earth do not belongs to only one, it belongs to all of us. Okay, this home do not belongs to you, it also belongs to me, says my cousins. Right. So they'll be telling that it is a realized niche. Here the population will be there and more interactions will be there. Then habitat niche, physical area in the habitat that species occupy. So in my study room, I will be occupying the position facing the north. This is my habitat niche. Habitat niche, because from there only I will get more sunlight, I can get more air, and I will be studying very well. That is my habitat niche, physical area in the habitat that species occupies. Trophic level, for example, if I sit here I can get food easily or energy easily, that is called trophic niche. Then so trophic niche is nothing but trophic level occupied by the species in a food chain, food chain or ecological chain. This thing I will be explaining with the help of example. Okay, multi-dimensional niche, fundamental niche plus limiting factors. Limiting factors are this population realized, then habitat in the same physical area I should sit. Okay, my brother can eat more than me and he can beat me. That is called trophic niche. Okay, just kidding. Next, and then this Darwin, he went to Galapagos Island and he have observed Darwin's finches. So one finch, it is developing into various species and it is called adaptive radiation. సో ఒక ancestor నుంచి మల్టిపుల్ స్పీసీస్ వస్తాయి, దాన్ని మనం అడాప్టివ్ రేడియేషన్ అంటాం. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ హియర్ వీ క్యాన్ సీ దట్ మల్టిపుల్ ఫించెస్ ఆర్ దేర్. సో 1 second. Yeah, so we can see that the sharpness of nose of finch is different for different. There are some finches which eat insects, there are some finches they eat seeds, there are some finches they eat birds, right? So according to the competition, they have changed their body structure itself. This is called adaptive radiation, and this was observed by Charles Darwin in Galapagos Island. So we can see. So this is nothing but what type of niche? Realized niche. So it is represented well with the help of angry birds. So yellow bird will be eating upper region, red bird will be eating here, blue bird will be eating here. So this is realized niche, and this can be example of resource partitioning. If competition is high, if the population is very high, then what happens? They cannot, one win, one lose. It won't be good, right? Our people, we cannot see our people losing. So what will be doing? We'll be compromising and we'll be sharing the resource, and it is called resource partitioning. So flamingos will be eating from the more depth of the water. Then ducks, they can swim, eat and come back. Then we have different type of plants, I mean birds, with the different types of beaks with which they can eat their food. Okay, this is called resource partitioning. One lake will be there, but multiple types of birds will be there. They will be eating as per their capability, right? Then we know that ecosystem is nothing but living and non-living things being together. And we also said that different ecosystems can be there. For example, in my village there is pond and there is land nearby. So this pond ecosystem and land or terrestrial ecosystem, between this there is a place where there is water on land. Okay, where uh, land stops and pond also will be, land and pond both will be there, right? And this place is called ecotone. This place is called, so this is a lake and this is a grassland. Between lake and grassland we can see that there will be water also and there will be grasslands also, and this place is called ecotone. And this zone is called zone of high tension also, and there is more capability of having maximum type of species here. We can see that species from lake and species of grassland can survive here, and there will be some species which can only survive here, which can only survive in the place between ecosystem 1 and ecosystem 2, and they cannot survive on ecosystem 2 or ecosystem 1 separately. They want this only, and this type of unique species are called ecotypes. So ecotone, the place between ecosystem 1 and ecosystem 2 where there will be maximum tension. It means that there will be maximum type of species can be present there. In that there will be some species which can only live there are called ecotypes. Okay, so for ecotone, examples will be marshlands, mangrove forest, estuaries, grasslands. Okay, then so think of regions in India which can be ecotones. For example, Himalayas will be there. Then we will be having a plains. The region between the Himalayas and plains where the rivers flow. Then this can be called as ecotone. So regions of plains. Okay. Then ecocline. So we have to remember the difference between ecotone, ecotype, and ecocline. Ecotone where there will be maximum diversity. Okay, and in eco tone, yes, echo tone, there will be rapid change. Fine. So transactional ecosystem, here you can see that there will be a rapid change. But ecocline, you can see that, for example, Himalayas 8 kilometers of 8 kilometers, right? So we can see that Himalayas at this level will be having some type of vegetation. Then at this height, some other type of vegetation. Here some other type of vegetation. I mean that plants of here will be having more height, here will be having less height, here will be having very less height, because when you go up, temperature will decrease and sunlight also will decrease. Okay, so this thing we'll see in geography. So due to that, there will be gradual change in vegetation or ecosystem, right? So this ecocline is a gradual transition between two ecosystems. Fine. So ecotone, sharp boundary will be there. We'll be having unique species called ecotype. Example, mangrove. Ecocline, gradual transition. There will be no sharp boundary. We can say that only a single mountain, but plants will be of different height and different vegetation, right? So altitudinal change in height of mountains will be the best example for ecocline. So ecocline also of different types. One is altitudinal. So we have seen, so tropical, here will be tropical type of plants, here will be temperate type of plants, then there will be tundra type of plants or vegetation on mountains. It is called altitudinal ecocline. Latitudinal also, for example, on earth, if you see near equator till 10 degrees, you'll be having evergreen forest and the trees will be very height. Yes, and soil will be leachy soil, and soil won't be consisting of nutrients, and here every time we'll be having a rainfall, right? Then we'll be having tropical, then temperate grasslands, then polar vegetation is very poor, right? So latitudinal ecoclines are also there. Then salinity, for example, in South India, a river is flowing, Godavari river is flowing here. So here salinity will be, from here we have ocean, so salinity will keep on decreasing from this region to this region. So here also there is a gradual transition. We cannot see like here pure way fresh water and here saline water. There will be some change. That is called salinity ecocline. Moisture. Okay. In we can see like in between 0 to 10 degrees, and if we are nearer to the ocean, there will be more moisture, and if you are farther from the ocean, then from the continent, I mean like Delhi won't be having more humidity. Chennai will be having more humidity due to sea land differential, and this can also be called as moisture ecocline. Temperature, we can relate with this itself. So ecotype, Royal Bengal tiger is an example of ecotype which can drink a salt water. This fact you should remember. Okay. Then trophic levels. Trophic, I told that energy level. Trophic level represents an energy flow in an ecosystem, and it also tells about what position it is occupying in the food chain. Okay. Then it also deals with how members of ecosystem are connected on the basis of nutritional needs, and it also used in food chain, food web, and ecological pyramids, which we'll be seeing now. Okay, I told this sun, from sun will get 100% of energy, but plants will be utilizing this 100% energy and will be creating 1 to 2% of biomass. And from this biomass, only 10% of plants biomass will be consumed by primary consumers. Then from here, from these primary consumers, only 10% will be consumed primary consumers biomass. Mass, just remember mass, non-veg. Okay, it's nothing but dry weight, dry organic weight, right? So only 10%. This is called 10% Lindman's rule. సన్ నుంచి 100% వస్తే ప్లాంట్స్ ఓన్లీ 1 to 2% ఆఫ్ బయోమాస్ని ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తే అందులో నుంచి ఓన్లీ 10% బయోమాస్ మాత్రమే అనిమల్స్కి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవుతుంది. దెన్ లైక్ ప్రైమరీ కన్జ్యూమర్కి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవుతుంది. ఆ తర్వాత 10% సెకండరీ కన్జ్యూమర్స్కి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, దెన్ సో దీస్ థింగ్స్ ఐ టోల్డ్. So we'll see about aquatic ecosystem. In aquatic ecosystem, producers are blue-green algae, nothing but cyanobacteria, phytoplankton, diatoms. Please remember these names. In aquatic system, producers, autotrophs are blue-green algae, phytoplankton, diatom. Okay, BPD, blue-green algae, phytoplankton, diatom. Primary consumers are crustaceans, zooplankton, small fish. Crustaceans, zooplankton, small fish. Secondary consumers are nothing but big sharks or big fish eating the small fish, zooplankton and all. And herrings also a secondary consumer. So food chain versus food web. So food chain will be telling that plant, plant 1 to 2% sunlight, 1 to 2% biomass. Then it will be telling that primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. It means that like a single flow or unit flow is happening here. Okay, only one flow, single energy flow is happening. And also it's very simple, it's not much complex, right? And it also tells about 4 to 6 trophic levels. 1 trophic level, 2, 3, 4, right? And it won't be dealing with complexities. But when it comes to food web, see this, how much complex it is. Primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers. Primary can eat secondary, secondary can eat primary, or secondary can eat tertiary, right? Or else like they are dependent, like complex web is there, and this is called food web, and it is multi-dimensional. And I'll be uploading this PDF in the Telegram channel, so you can download it from there. And also I'll be pasting a link in the description box. Fine. Then food web collapse. So everything is interconnected in this world. So when you are interconnected, if something gets disturbed, everything will get disturbed. That is nothing but holism, the principle on which ecosystem works. These thing we have discussed in this lecture itself in the beginning. Okay, what are the reasons for collapse? Climate change, loss of key species, water key species. I'll be dealing with that. Then pollution, over exploitation by humans, these things. And what will be the consequences? Biodiversity loss, then reduced productivity, ecosystem collapse, and upcoming generations can only see few organisms, right? Many organisms will go extinct. So this 10% Lindman rule also I have discussed, that from this level to this level 10% energy will be going from this, only 10% from this, only 10%. So you can see that 2,70,000 joules of biomass is produced from here to next level. 27,000 is going from there, 2,700 from there, 270 joules. Alright, so we have seen food web, food chain, and now we'll be seeing at ecological pyramids. So just remember that pyramids, ecological pyramids can be represented in numbers, biomass, and energy. This numbers and biomass can be represented in normal triangle, inverted triangle, and this shape also. Okay, numbers and biomass can be represented normal triangle, inverted triangle, and also in this shape format. But but ecological pyramid of energy, inverted triangle is not possible, and this triangle is also not possible. Only a straight triangle can be used. Okay, so with this first part of basics is completed. I'll be uploading this thing. Just remember, concept is most important, and learn with your own example. I think I have given the best example for habitat, niche, ecosystem. Fine. So then we have seen what are the types of functions of ecosystem. Then we have seen food web, food chain, then ecological pyramids. Then we have seen what we have seen. Then we have seen 10% Lindman's rule, and also we have seen what Charles Darwin have done in Galapagos, and also Charles Darwin's evolution theory, which speaks about competition, and that law is called Gauss law. Okay, not physics, Gauss law. Here Gauss law states that one person will win and one organism will win and another organism will lose when there is a competition. And there is one more possibility here, that is called resource partitioning, where me and my brother will be partitioning the study room and making it cabins to study there. Okay, so we'll see some of the PYQs. Which of the term will be best describing the ecosystem? Ecosystem where living organisms react or interact with living and non-living organisms. A community of organisms interacting with one another. So this, just put it in a whole. The part of Earth which is inhabited by living organisms, it is called biosphere. Right. The part of the Earth where there is life is possible. Okay. The flora and fauna of geographical area is called biodiversity. Okay. A community of organisms together with the environment in which they live is called ecosystem. So here we can see that community of organisms only interacting with each other. Okay, only organisms are interacting, but not with their environment. So here environment is also involved, so it is called ecosystem. So option C will be the correct thing. Then, so functional role. So whenever you see the role plus function, just go for niche. Okay, what type of niche? Ecological niche. Which one of the correct is the following is the correct sequence of a food chain? So we have seen aquatic ecosystem. When we have seen that, I told just to remember, because we have primary producers. What are the primary producers we have seen? So diatoms, BPD, right? Blue green algae. Then plankton. Then we have consumers, primary consumers, crustaceans in that list, and secondary consumers, herrings, sharks, big fishes. Okay. Then detrivores. Detrivores are nothing but decomposers. So earthworms can decompose. Earthworms are called farmer's friend because they decompose. Millipedes can decompose. Woodlice also can decompose. So these three will be for answer for decomposer. Jellyfish cannot decompose. Seahorse cannot decompose. So we can easily eliminate this thing. Then let's see the last question of this session and we'll be ending this. So decomposers. So virus, neither living nor dead. And virus needs something called host to replicate. Okay. And virus cannot decompose. So only things which can decompose is bacteria and fungi. Virus cannot decompose. Hope this lecture has given you some good content and it will be helpful for your UPSC preparation. If you like this lecture, please show some love with by liking, sharing and subscribing. Thank you, and I'll be back with part 2 of basics of ecosystem.